next person.
Yeah.
Excuse me for my terrible sexism.
Okay.
Should we keep rolling with it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we've got a couple of callers from California coming up next. Jerry, another Jerry. Hello, are you there?
Hi, this is Jack.
Jack.
Oh, it's Jack. Okay.
Okay. I just have a quick question for you. A couple of days ago, I was talking with one of my friends. He's strong, hardcore Christian, and I'm an atheist. And somehow the discussion shifted to him claiming that people are naturally disposed or naturally have, it just naturally arises belief in God. And his justification for this was that throughout history, through numerous unconnected societies all over the world, like in India or Native Americans in America or England or wherever, societies always believed in God. And I want to know, why do you think the reason for this is?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I think what I think is that religion probably originally came about as a result of some primitive human, maybe not even fully human yet, trying to make sense of something. And, you know, one of the most obvious things in the sky every day would have been the sun. And so you see sun worship in lots of cultures, and that's not any mystery. That's a prominent feature in everyone's life, and it wouldn't have taken much intelligence for early humans to figure out that the sun was a source of warmth that made the plants grow, you know, and then in the winter when there was less sunlight, you know, things died off. And so it's not hard to see where, you know, just trying to understand how the world works, people came up with an explanation that seemed to make sense to them, but, you know, in the end is proven not to be true. So, you know, we don't believe that Apollo pulls the sun across the sky with his chariot anymore.
Right.
But, you know, that seemed reasonable at the time.
Well, what do you think is, because you notice a shift, like ancient Greek gods, ancient Egyptian gods, I'm guessing, but I know at least for the ancient Greek gods, they really, at least from the human point of view, they're more of a burden. Where was the shift of a God, a conscious God that actually cares about you?
Okay, that one I think, you know, I was actually going to say something about the Greek gods because the early gods tended to be very anthropomorphic. They tended to be a lot like people. I mean, Zeus and Hera and all those people, they lived on Mount Olympus, which was a specific place. They had petty jealousies and they fought with each other, and they basically did very human-like things, and they were basically like people, only cooler. And first of all, I would say that people are pattern-seeking animals, and it's natural for us to recognize, oh, we do things with tools like make fire, which is pretty amazing. So how do we explain this sun thing? Well, we've got Apollo pulling it on his chariot. Even the Bible God in the early parts of the Bible is a lot more human-like than the later parts of the Bible, and he becomes even less human-like through the centuries of interpretation. So you've got a God who can't see through, can't fight a group of people because they have chariots of iron, right? So God has sort of a kryptonite-like substance in iron, and what's happened, I think, over the centuries is that as science has progressed more and more, and we understand more about our world, like, oh, the sun doesn't actually have a chariot, and it's actually millions of miles away, there's less for God to do, and religious people, in order to remain relevant, have had to make their religions more and more abstract. You see what I'm saying?
So let me just summarize what it's getting at. You're saying that first God came out as or was identified, came into existence in people's minds as an explanation for how the sun comes up, why it rains, or the grass grows, or whatever.
Right, sure. People see that they can do things with their brains, and so they attribute. Oh, they say, well, what makes the sun move? Must be a really big brain.
And then as society progressed, and instead of having a bunch of sparsely dispersed families, you have bigger cities, societies. Then people started putting more values of morality because it would be in the best interest of the society.
Sure. I mean, moral edicts have more weight if you can say, oh, and by the way, the guy who made the universe agrees with me. Anything else?
No, thanks for taking my call.
Okay, I hope that helps. I mean,
Sure.
this is all pretty much my guess because what happened, how religions were created is kind of lost to history. Although I think Daniel Dennett has a book about that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah.
But it's something about religion as an evolved concept.
Yeah.
Anyway.